and welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Leslie. You're in my kitchen down on the farm, and I'm thrilled that you're here. Today, we're going to finish up something we started the other day. It was a video that had several things in it. I also made a pizza dough that's supposed to be fermented in the refrigerator for, you can leave it up to a week. It's been in there a couple of days for me. And so I thought we would do the final product. We would actually make our pizza with it. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. This is a whole new dough for me. I've got one that I love that's done in the cast iron skillet. I love it, but I thought we would give this a try. This is more of a New York style pizza dough. So it's got to sit out for an hour. I've got it out of the refrigerator. It's sitting out. My oven is preheating. My pizza stone, well, it's not my pizza stone. I had to go borrow one. Caroline's pizza stone is in the oven getting screaming hot. And in just a little bit, we're going to come and put this together. In the meantime, I'm going to be shredding up some mozzarella cheese for the top and so forth. So if you missed the episode where I put this together, what I'm going to do is insert the clip of the process of making the pizza dough. It's about 7 minutes. I'm going to insert it here so if you missed it the other day, you can have it again. And if you didn't miss it, you saw it and you don't want to see it again, just fast forward to where we get to working with the dough. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert that clip here. I didn't have a pizza peel. And this is not the kind I want. You know, I want a wooden one. But I did go buy this. It was fairly inexpensive at Walmart to be able to get this video made for you guys. So, all right. The stone is preheating. The dough is out resting for an hour. And I'm going to shred up some mozzarella cheese. And I'm going to insert the clip here of how I put the dough together. All right, let me get you turned down. I've already got a cup of warm water in here. I'm going in with my half a cup. We're going to put a little bit of honey, about a teaspoon of honey. It's going to take a while. And I'm just eyeballing the teaspoon, so. Might have been a little more than a teaspoon. Okay, and let me get a little spoon here to stir that with. All right, well, we're going in with half a teaspoon of sea salt, and it specifically said sea salt, so I don't think it matters, but I'm gonna do. And right about here, my microphone decided to malfunction. So voiceover it is. So I put in the sea salt and I'm giving everything a stir. I don't normally like to add salt to my yeast mixture because I've always been taught that salt could, you know, delay the yeast or kill the yeast or whatever. But I try to, like, if I'm mixing it in the flour, I put it off to the side. But this recipe said to put it in with the water and the honey, so that's what we did. I'm going in with a half a teaspoon of instant yeast. Now the difference between instant yeast is you don't have to necessarily wait for it to proof like you would a regular yeast. I usually wait anyway just to make sure my yeast is good. I let it sit for a little bit just to be sure that my yeast is alive and well. So we're stirring that up just a little bit and we're going to set it off to the side while I get my flour. If you have bread flour, you can definitely use bread flour, but I was almost out, so I used just my White Lily all-purpose flour. And we're going in with 3½ cups. And I'm going to create a little well in the center of our flour to pour the yeast mixture into. I'm going to grab a spatula to create that well with. I could have done it with my hands and probably should have. So now we're going to pour in our yeast mixture right in the center, and I want to be sure I get all the yeast particles out of that measuring bowl there. So I just go in and be sure I get everything out. Because this did not have a whole lot of yeast in it. It was just a half of a teaspoon. And so now I'm just going to start stirring this together, and I'll eventually go in with my hands, as you'll see in just a minute. It comes together very nicely and is actually kind of a very moist dough. I was kind of worried here for a minute that it was going to be really dry, but once you get your hands in there and get it all together, it actually is a very moist dough. So I'm pulling up my sleeves here and I'm going in with my hands. And I'm just going to keep turning it around and kind of kneading it inside the bowl for a few minutes, picking up all that loose flour. And you'll see in just a little bit, once I get it down on my countertop, I get it to where it's really moist, and I stick it back in the bowl and pick up any excess loose flour with it being moist. So you'll see that in just a little bit. I had disinfected and cleaned my countertop really well. So I was ready to just put it right on the countertop and knead it. And here's where I'm feeling it's starting to get very moist, and you can tell it's coming together very nicely. I love to work with bread and make bread and knead bread. Here I am putting it back in the bowl, just picking up any of that loose flour that may have gotten left in the bowl, because the outside of that dough had become very moist and was easily to pick up that loose flour. All right, and so I'm going to knead it for a couple of minutes, where I just pull towards me and push out and rotate the dough as I go. Pulling towards me and pushing out, rotating the dough as I go. Put a little bit of flour on there. This is so therapeutic to me. It is just relaxing. I don't know why I enjoy making bread so much, but this is the part of it I love. I love the smell of yeast. I love the smell of bread baking. I love kneading the dough. I love everything about bread making. Caroline has actually mastered sourdough. I haven't quite gotten there yet. I've made a few sourdough things, but not to where I want to keep making it. So I've kneaded for, a couple of minutes here. And in just a minute, I'm going to get the butter spray that bowl down, and put this dough in it to rest for about 4 to 5 hours. Now, like I said, this is a refrigerator dough, so it's going to hang out in my refrigerator after I get it divided into half. And we won't do that till I come back after it's rested for about 4 to 5 hours. But it'll actually make 2 pizza doughs. And so yeah, I'm going to spray my bowl down here and just sit that dough in there. I turn it over once, but then I end up with it seam side down. I'm going to cover it with a towel, and it's going to hang out for a few minutes. So now hopefully my mic is fixing to come back on. So that's how you put the dough together. You stick that, let it sit out at room temperature for 4 to 5 hours. Come back, cut it in half, put it, fold it like as a book about 8 times, each one about 8 different times. Put it in a greased bowl, put in individual bowls, and stick it in the refrigerator for up to a week. So now let's get back to today when we're making the pizza. All right, everybody. My timer's fixing to go off. It's sat out for an hour. The stone is screaming hot in there. And so I'm going to flour my countertop. And I'm also going to flour my pizza peel real quick. And I'm just going to kind of lightly do that. And I'm not going to let the flour get too far away because I don't know. I've never made this dough before. We may need some more. So I'm just going to kind of set it off here to the side. Put the lid back on it. Let me wait for the timer and then we'll be back and we'll put the dough out on the counter. The timer just went off, so let's grab our dough here. Like I said, I don't know if I told you this, but this is supposed to make kind of like a New York style pizza dough. So we're going to put that there. Get the lid out of the way. Oh, I smell it. And I'm just going to kind of turn it a little bit. All right, I'm going to just kind of get it into a ball. And then now we're just going to start working it outward. And we're going to work till we have, you know, a 10, 12-inch pizza. And remember, it does shrink back. So we're just going to keep kind of working it out. And I want a thicker edge. I want an edge in the center. Now you can do it with your, there will be no dough tossing here today, but you can work it with your fist and your knuckles, which is what I'm doing. I'm actually going to lay it down in this flour. I think it's needing a little bit more flour. And I'm going to work it out a little bit by hand here on the countertop. Look, feeling for the thick pieces. Okay, I'm tearing right here. And so what I'm going to do when I tear it, I'm just going to kind of pull it back on itself, pinch it down, and start from that section. And we're going to just keep working it out. It can be very rustic looking. Pinch that bottom fold too on the back side. So we're going to see. I feel like it's a little bit easier for me, a novice at pizza dough making, to do it on the countertop just by my fingers. But you can do it with your knuckles. I'm not tossing this, y'all. I am definitely not tossing it. But it may not be circle shaped. And that's okay. That's okay. We're going to work it out. I'm going to keep working, see if I can get it into a circle. And we'll be back in just a little bit. So don't go anywhere. Let me get it all worked out, and I'll be back in just a second. All right, so when I got it thinned out, I had a little bitty miniature roller that I kind of worked a little bit to help shape it. And I would take my hands and kind of build up that little edge. It's not pretty, but we'll see. So the key is, can I get it on the pizza peel? Aha! I did. Okay, but I want all of it on there, so let me kind of move it around a little bit. All right, so let's hurry up and get this, put our stuff on, our toppings on, and we'll be, let me grab a little bit of melted butter. So we're going to make this completely simple. We're going to make just a pepperoni pizza. And so I've got my sauce here. I want to go ahead and sauce it. Try not to get too much on the pizza peel because we need this pizza to slide off right onto the stone. Do you like heavy sauce or light sauce? I'm kind of I don't want it too heavy, but I do want to know there's some on there. But yeah, I'm not a very heavy saucy person. All right, that was my butter beeping, so let me grab that. Okay, so now we're going to top it with a shredded mozzarella cheese, and I shredded this from a block because I want it to melt nicely. I want it to be a good melt, and sometimes the bag cheese just doesn't melt pretty. It melts, but it's not a pretty melt, and I want a pretty melt here. So, okay, we've got our cheese topped off here, and so I'm going to now put pepperonis. I hear Bryant or Daniel or somebody. I hear somebody. So I'm just putting pepperonis all over this. If Bryant's coming in, I may let him be the one to put it on the pizza stone.
What's that?
Sliding the pizza on the pizza stone.
Well, I'm dirty.
You are dirty, aren't you?
Yep, I've been working.
You want a pepperoni?
So, I love pepperonis. Give me another one.
Give you another one?
Mm-hmm.
There's two more.
Mm-hmm. They're good.
All right.
Everybody's saying they like your new angle.
Yeah. I can't always do it this way, but we will when we can. Sometimes I have to have the camera near me so I can maneuver it. And right now it's not near me. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this butter and I'm going to brush the edge just a little bit. And we're going to do one more thing after we dust the edge. I mean, as we dust the edge. Rub the edge with the butter. We're going to dust it with a little bit of garlic salt. And I'm using garlic salt, not garlic powder, because I want that salt on here. So I got that right here. Come on. All right, there we go. So now the moment of truth. Can I get it on the pizza stone? The screaming hot pizza stone. So hang on. Moment of truth. Well, guys, me getting it in the oven was not pretty. Not pretty at all. In fact, my pizza now looks a little bit like Mickey Mouse head. So we may have a Disney pizza coming out of the oven. I don't know. But anyway, it's in there and it's baking. And I'm going to bring you guys back just as soon as it's done. And then we will give it a taste test and see if we like the refrigerator fermented dough. Now, somebody asked me that. They said they were confused. I say fermented. What happens is when you put it in the refrigerator or somewhere cool, it slows down the yeast process, allowing it to ferment just a little bit, which is only deepening the flavor of the crust. So I'm excited to see how it is. I don't know. We'll see. And the reason it wasn't pretty and it didn't work, I think is because the pizza peel had holes in it, allowing the soft dough to kind of go in. And so when I slid it, it was catching the dough. So I definitely, if you're going to use a pizza peel, you definitely need a solid wooden one, which I will be getting me one of those, especially if I like this dough. And I could have made it on the pizza stone, like went ahead and just sat it on there and had it already on there. But I think it already being hot is what kind of cooks part of the dough, giving it a good texture. So I don't know. We will see. But It's in there, and I will bring you back when it comes out. And remember, looks a little bit like Mickey Mouse. Moment of truth. So y'all want to see it? I told you it looked like Mickey Mouse or a teddy bear or something. So, but we're going to try it. I have a feeling I'm going to like my cast iron pizza dough better, but we're fixing to find out. So let me get you, I'll turn you back down so you can watch me cut it. I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going all kinds of ways here. It's crusty, I can hear it. All right. Let's give this a taste. Woo! Hot. Hot. I should have left the garlic salt off. I think I over salted it. Woo! So far, the crust is amazing. Let me, I'm gonna let it cool just a little bit so I can get a really good bite of the crust and let you know. But it seems to have a good, nice chew to it. I want to get to this piece. Pretty good. Not bad. That's really pretty doggone good. Okay, well, there is you an easy, quick pizza dough. Like I said, you need to have the right kind of pizza peel because I think the stone being hot does a lot for the crust. So anyway, I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy my piece of pepperoni pizza, and can't wait for Bryant to come in and try it. So, all right, I'm gonna end the video here. Y'all have had y'all long enough, and I will see you on the next one. Oh, we got a good one coming up tomorrow. I can't wait for you to see it. It is so good. All right, we will see you later. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Be sure to try this pizza dough. Also, I'll link my other pizza dough down in the description. I think it came from America's Test Kitchen. It's where I got it from. But I will link that video down below as well. And yeah, so, all right. I'll see you on the next one. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.